always heard.
First time that I've actually ever gotten to clarify.
Si como yo disfrutaste o incluso a la fecha disfrutas de ver los episodios de la serie Malcolm, el de en medio, estoy seguro que en más de una ocasión has escuchado o leído en redes sociales algo referente a un supuesto problema de memoria que sufrió a consecuencia de múltiples conmociones cerebrales Frankie Muniz, actor que interpreta precisamente al personaje Malcolm en el show televisivo. En pocas palabras, se decía que Frankie había olvidado por completo que, en su niñez y parte de su adolescencia, interpretó a tan icónico personaje.
¿Recuerdas ayer? Nos sentamos juntos y bebimos agua juntos y nos sentamos otra vez. Deberíamos hacerlo de nuevo.
Como quieras.
Mírenme, es oficial, ya tengo novia. Oficialmente soy novio de alguien.
Estoy casi completamente seguro de que podría gustarle. Creo.
Mira cómo juega ese tonto.
Estás detrás de la proverbial bola 8.
¿Quieres más cerveza?
Ay, no, proverbial.
Y claro, tal vez al enterarse de esto y no existir alguna versión oficial por parte del mismo actor, cualquiera que disfrutó la serie llegó a sentir lástima por su condición, especialmente por el éxito que tuvo el programa en la televisión abierta mexicana, donde fue emitido por el Canal 5.
Sí. Pañal, 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 pañal. De acuerdo. Olvidemos esos.
Sin embargo, hace poco, en un podcast con Steve-O, reconocido miembro de Jackass y de otros shows producidos por el canal MTV, Frankie Muniz, Malcolm, el de en medio, aclaró finalmente el tema, explicando que él mismo llegó a sorprenderse cómo al buscar su nombre en internet aparecía esta información, que lo dejaba como una persona con severos daños en la memoria.
So I went to a bunch of doctors and nobody could really give me like a straight up answer. So I had people kind of speculating, and now it turns out literally after all that, and like if you search my name, like all it talks about is how like I have no memory or I'm dying of strokes and all this kind of stuff. And the reality is like I finally got diagnosed with aura migraines.
El actor detalló que, como se llegó a mencionar en diferentes artículos, siempre ha sido gran fanático del automovilismo, pero las conmociones cerebrales que tuvo habrían sido por el baloncesto y otros deportes de contacto que practicaba bastante en su niñez. Puntualizó que si bien no recuerda a detalle todo lo que hizo durante las filmaciones de la serie, ya que en ese tiempo hizo y vivió muchísimas cosas en su vida, sabe que es él el personaje. Algo que le pareció bastante lógico a Steve-O, pues coincidió que al ver otra vez algunos videos de los años de su vida en los que grabó alrededor del mundo el programa Wild Boys, fue como verlos por primera vez.
You search my name, it's basically Frankie Muniz dying. You know what I mean? It's
like he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't even know that he was Malcolm. I'm like, no,
that's the impression I got.
And it's funny because like I've never talked about it.
I was under the impression like someone had to tell you like, no, dude, you were on this show, Malcolm in the Middle, and it was a big show, and you're
that's
like,
how he described it to me.
That's how I always thought it was, and you'd be watching episodes
he
like,
has no recollection of being on that show.
This is the first time that I've actually ever gotten to clarify. It's just funny because like, you know, I have people write me all the time like, oh, it's so sad that you don't. I'm like. I started acting when I was 8, Malcolm when I was 12 to 20. You know, like I was literally every moment of my life from when I started acting until I stopped, I had to be somewhere and had to do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there becomes a point, I think, where you just kind of start floating, but you just kind of, you do what you got to do and you go where you need to go and you do your best job, but then you forget it.
I totally relate to what you were saying about, you know, so much stuff happened. Like, for example, if I were to sit down and watch an episode of my old show Wild Boys, which we taped all over the world from 2003 to 2005, I'm sure that a bunch of the scenes that were in it, I have no recollection of
be like, wait, I did that?
Yeah.
I did that? Like, I should remember that.
Lo que alimentaría la versión catastrófica de su memoria, a decir del actor, sería uno de los episodios especiales que se hicieron en su participación hace unos años en el programa Bailando con las Estrellas, pues los guionistas le impusieron que el año más memorable era el 2021, cuando fue nominado para diversos premios.
I did Dancing with the Stars 4 years ago now. I enjoyed it. But anyway, I was bringing that up because I was talking about that's kind of where the story came from of my memory.
From their little storyline on the show?
Yeah, because they have an episode like most memorable year. And to be honest, like I love Dancing with the Stars and I don't want to like say anything that will make them hate me, but they kind of tell you what your most memorable year is going to be. You know what I mean? And they were like, it's 2001 because it's when you were nominated for an Emmy and the Golden Globes and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, we want you to talk all about it. And I go, I don't remember what I felt then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know, and so it was me kind of blowing off the fact that, like, I can't say that's my favorite year because, like, I can't tell you what happened in 2001. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you would have to tell me what happened in 2001.
Like, Frankie Muniz can't even remember.
But they didn't really say it. It just kind of like the storyline in my episode then was like, you know, I as cheesy as it is, I said my most memorable year is the present, because I've learned through all my past to live in the moment, like accept everything for what it is, whatever,
sure.
right? And I brought up like the fact that like I had to say like I don't really remember, but I wasn't saying I don't remember anything. I was just saying like,
right.
If you told me what I ate for breakfast the day that I went to when I was nominated for Emmys, I go, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like,
Frankie Muniz cierra con broche de oro el tema, resaltando que nunca vio Malcolm el de en medio cuando estuvo al aire, pero que hace tiempo vio la serie con su esposa, disfrutándola prácticamente como un fan, pues aunque él es el personaje principal, solo era una de las partes que conformaban el producto final.
I never watched Malcolm, you know, when it was on. You kind of film it, but now with like the streaming services, like you can sit down and just kind of crank through, and my wife had never seen it, so we watched it a few years ago, and I truly could watch it as like a fan, because I really didn't know what was gonna happen next. You know what I mean?
I could watch it as a fan because I'm fucking awesome.
Well, I
don't see it as me. I don't see it as me. I'm saying like, you know,
you're from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, I get to go
right.
But also because when you film, I filmed the parts I was in. I don't really know what else they filmed in the show. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that turned out or the other storylines.
So you wouldn't watch it when it aired?
No.
Like a viewing party with your buds?
Oh, no. I was always kind of more like embarrassed to like, I don't know, just kind of awkward.
Amigos, quise hablar de este tema porque de verdad me encanta la serie. De hecho, cuando me encuentro episodios ahí en Facebook, pues me pongo a verlos. Y me enteré de esto hace apenas unas horas. Y dije, para aquellos que no lo sepan, pues se los voy a presentar. Pero me gustaría conocer su opinión al respecto. ¿Creen que realmente es verdad que Frankie recuerda que interpretó a Malcolm o coinciden con lo comentado por el usuario Jason Lee en el podcast? Pobre Frankie, ni siquiera puede recordar que perdió la memoria. Bueno amigos, yo soy Lalillo LK8, así es, otro nombre, hay una mezcla de todos los nombres que he tenido del canal. Esperemos que este sea el bueno, yo creo que sí. Si les gustó este video, no olviden dejar su like, algún comentario y compartirlo. Nos estamos viendo en una próxima emisión. Oh yeah, ilumina tu mente.